We back at it. We back at it, right back at it again. Again for YouTube purposes. For those who don't know me, my name is Rell Purnell, aka Carshow Rell. This is going to be a live session with my bro, Jay Hall Agent. We doing this live, and we developed this platform where we just talk about ups and downs, wins and losses of entrepreneurship. And today's topic, we called it Cam Energy. We called it Cam Energy, and the reason why we called it Cam Energy is because Cameron on Champs podcast, his energy was, one of those type of energies where he felt like, I was always on, even when I wasn't. He felt like I was already, I was a boss. I felt it in my spirit that I was a boss even before I reached a high plateau where everybody around the world seen I was a boss. Bro, I'm gonna tap into other. But while I'm doing that, man, if you want to share a little bit more about the topic.
Yeah. So, like he said, Cam Energy is just, it's an aura around you where you don't allow anyone, regardless of status, financially, or anything, create fearfulness for you. Like, you ain't shook at nobody, you ain't afraid of nobody, you'll stand in the same room with anybody, you can talk business with anybody. And that's what we see, or that's what we consider Cam Energy, and it matters so much to us because, we feel like Cam Energy is something that you need in order to be successful in business, because you can't be unbothered and you can't be worried about, situations, other people in business. You can't be worried about it. You got to have Cam's energy. And I think there were two parts of the Cam Drink Champs that led us to discussing this, bro. If you remember, the one part was where he talked about when he was young, how he used to like practice his bop on the treadmill, because even though he was broke and he ain't had no money, he was like, I still felt like I was the dude when I was broke. And then the other part was when he deleted the whole verse because he felt like, yo played me, and I'm a boss and I'm getting money, so I'm gonna play him right back. And it could be seen petty, but our whole platform is about taking the possible gems out of something and showing the positivity in it. And it was just it was a major point for us because, at that point you got a chance to do business with somebody that's at the top of their field, and you're like, yo, I don't like the business ethics that they practice with me, so let's just date the relationship. And that's Cam Energy.
Big facts, and having that ability to move on with no regrets. No matter how far that other person shines, and like, man, maybe I regret. I should have took on that position with him, or I should have worked with him. Nah, yo, cool. They did their thing. I'll see him at the top when I get there.
That's a fact. I mean, I keep it a buck with you. For me, in my career, my whole career been based off of having that Cam Energy, because you can't, when you're working for someone, they always want to make you feel like, they own you, and that like you can't survive without me. And this is not a knock for anybody that is working. It's just evidence in the fact that a lot of times you can't even if you have constructive information to give in a company, you can't even give it because it's like, who are you? And we won't even, we're not even going to touch on the role that race plays in that. So it's, once again, you got to have that Cam Energy. And I'll take it further back. For me, our first couple of episodes, we talked about the beginnings of our career and coming in. Cam Energy is the only reason why I was able to survive in the building. Because for me personally, I came in like, I don't care where you're from. I don't care how much money your parents have. I don't care where you went to college and all that or whatever. I feel like you can't hustle better than me. So may the best man win.
Yeah.
And I think that's the definition of Cam Energy. But Shay, I don't want to give it away, but you had a situation early on when you started your business, when, let me just say, if I'm not mistaken, somebody attempted to acquire your business, and it was some, state property, get down or lay down, kind of mentality. You ain't got to mention no names, but
Yeah.
share that experience of having someone not only prove that you got proof of concept, but then say, I want your business. Let me take it.
Yeah, yeah. So it was more so not a, let me buy you out thing. It was more so a guy reached out to me, probably 2 years in the business or so, and he was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. We know a lot of people." And everywhere I was going, people were like, "You need to talk to this guy." And obviously, people was telling him the same thing to me. Like, so I'm more so of a, all right, let's see what we can build. Maybe we can network, maybe we can affiliates. Let's see what we can build together. But this guy more and more for, yo, I like what you're doing. You got the game on spot in this region. You should come work for me and build what I'm building. What I'm building is going to be way bigger than where you can. And I'm like, whoa. Okay. I'm listening to the guy, and he's insulting me. I'm listening to him, and I knew who he was, the type of guy he was. In his career, probably a little bit further high in business. But me being me, I don't care how much money you got. You ain't just going little man. Me, you ain't going like Jay and the cameo. You ain't going little man around. So we got off the phone, and I was like, look, man, Marcus. I said on exam, I said, man, Marcus that's across the street from me. Both of them drop. Both of them making noise. Same again. True. But you got Apple and Microsoft. He's trying to fight for market share. I'm like, all right, you got that. And he invited me somewhere. I couldn't go up because of other, but it led to that being that. And he wanted to jump in the game, my lane. I know what happened. He did, baby, he did. But after a while, and it's a real story, it consumed me, knowing that somebody is trying to take food off my plate. So everywhere I started going, I would see either him, his peoples, his cars. I'm like, yo, is this me following? Yo, is this dude purposely connecting with all of my connections to box me out? I'm like, all right, okay. Yo, I got to get in my bag. I got to get in my bag. I had to unfollow the guy from off of social media. Positive guy, he had great going on, motivation. I had to unfollow him and really just zone out into me building, my company. To where 2 years down the line, I seen him in person. He at this spot, and I was like, go right there. I was like, he ain't getting away from me. He looked up, he seen me, and like dipped off around the corner. Maybe he didn't, I don't know. But it looked like he looked up to me and dipped off, and I walked, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? I'm like, yeah, that's a nice car. We looking at cars. And I was like, yo, I appreciate you giving me that call. I was like, it made me step the game up. Because before then, I really, like you said, I had the corner market. I had the market cornered. It was competition in that lane, but not really. But knowing somebody was coming after me made me get out of my comfort zone. Like, yo, E Papers, what's up? Shane, what's up? Mrs. York, what's up? I was like, man, I gotta get back in my bag. So he like chuckled it off. He's like, yeah, I make people get. And we kind of like dapped it up, and he got something coming up. Like, yo, you got money. Reach out to me. Obviously that was our first time meeting and last time. But we still know a lot of the people. I don't know where he's going now. But it was on that big boy energy. Like, yo, if you a billionaire, you coming at me, it's gonna be fun. Especially if you let it be known. I did have a friend of mine was like, bro, you might reach out. Maybe you had it misconstrued. somebody else who I seen, they was like, nah, he try to help you. And I was like, maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. So before I seen him, probably about a year or two before I seen him, I did call him. He didn't answer. I left a message. But I left it as that, like, he didn't call me back. I guess it's wrong. So, you know, he did continue to do my thing. It may have not been working, but I treated it like, yo, somebody coming food that's on my plate. So, yo, let's get it.
Listen, and much respect to that gentleman. They you know, from what I've seen, he's been extremely successful in other fields. So this was never meant to be a shot, but it's meant to say that sometimes you gotta be able to stand on your own too and do what you do, because the funny part about it, what I remember of that, to your point, was that it was a lot of like, I like you, let me put you on, like that kind of thing. And when you have that calm energy, it's like, you know, if you want to partner, we can partner. But, you know, between God and myself, I put me on.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And that's the difference of that, of having that energy. Because when you know, you got to protect your, especially in business, you got to protect your spaces. Even with partnering with people, you got to partner with people with the right ethics from a business perspective, and you got to partner with people that's like-minded. Because if you're not partnering with the right people, like, you know, it's so many people out here doing bad business. You partner with somebody, their name get dragged into something or whatever the case may be, and then next thing you know, that name brings your brand down.
Yep.
You know, so it's and the other side of it is, you know, so many people looking for shortcuts. You know, so if such and such does something and he can put me on, then I can make moves in his situation. Like, nah. Like, you know, I mean, you know, the saying that we have amongst each other off the record is always, do me a favor, don't do me no favors.
Yeah.
Like, not saying that not appreciative, whatever the case may be, but people's intentions aren't genuine, especially when it comes to business.
Brother Gross.
Like, it's what's going on with you. It's just it's not genuine. And when you know, coming from, I think where we come from as a people, competition is a part of the game. And when you're trying to scale a business, like I watched you do before I was even in this game, and they were trying to scale my own business, sometimes you go and bump heads with somebody, and you can literally be on good terms with them, and you shake hands. To me, it's almost like, you know, I'm a boxing guy. Like, I done seen two guys that trained together and grew up together in boxing all the time fight, and then they hug at the end of the scrap. You know what I mean? But then while they fighting, it's a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the same rules apply in business. And that's why, to your point, we titled this whole thing Cam Energy, because you got to have a certain internal belief in yourself that it's going to happen. And to me, when you mentioned that encounter to me in passing, I took it as like, yo, that's proof of concept for me. So if somebody comes in and they kind of sort of want to move into your market and what you're doing or whatever the case may be, clearly that's proof of concept. Clearly you have something. Because if not, and this was somebody that was very, very successful in their field and wealthy. So they could have just created what they wanted to create without you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't even just about that. It was, not only do I want to move into your lane, but I want your intellectual property as well.
Correct.
So it's you just gotta be, you gotta be built different.
Facts. Auto piece. Appreciate it, man.
And salute. I'm glad you shared that part about seeing them, because I never knew that you ever I don't remember hearing about you ever coming across dude in person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one time. That one time only. That one time only. And
that's
like, we know a lot of this. You know, our world is small. You know, especially in the deep region. But yeah, only across one.
I mean, that's a listen. I watch and salute to my man Vapors in the comments. I watch what you and E Vapors are created with Car Talk, and y'all run Car Talk how y'all want to run it. Like and that's what makes it unique to everything. Cause I done jumped in and heard y'all talking about real estate investments, flipping properties, and then jumped in and heard about drag racing all on the same show. You know what I mean? Like y'all, like it's y'all stand on it and run it how y'all feel like is the best way to run it. And win, lose, or draw, like you gotta put yourself out there, and you gotta be willing to put yourself on. You gotta be willing to front yourself. Like, and that's where that whole, once again, just reiterating the term again, that's where the cam energy, you know, comes into play with it. So share, you know, we talking about cam energy. There was a situation that we had discussed that you were looking to do in business, and you said, yo, I want to run something past you. And it ended up being a big transition for you in business. Do you wanna share that? It was some footage that was going around, and it took your business to a whole nother level where you had to take a super duper risk. Talk about that.
You talking about the ABC joint?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe 2017. I guess I could say it because it's on public record. That Penn Hotel came into place. You know, built by I think Kevin Plank. He was one of the owners of the Sagamore Industries of Sagamore.
Yeah, I think it's Sagamore Investments.
Yeah, Sagamore. So you know, he was trying to rebuild and revitalizing the Fells Point, Canton, you know, area in Baltimore to bring more trucks, to bring more revenue, bring more like that. So I took that on as an opportunity. That means people gonna be coming in and out. Maybe they need some transportation. It rained the day they opened. It did something that I wasn't able to. Either rained or not 100% sure. I think it was like rain, thunder. That next following day, I went down, talked to the guys at the front desk, Dino Raymond, Ronnie Small, on my grind. I went down to the you know, the front desk, talked to like the me personally. You know, I'm doing this me personally. And one of my chauffeurs or anybody, I'm doing this me personally. You know, I go in, introduce myself, tell them about my organization, and the dude like, man, crazy news to tell you. And I'm like, what's good? He like, man, we signed the contract with this company yesterday. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I mean, you used to know. You're like, all right. He said no. I'm gonna go around and get a couple more yeses. Here's what it is. This was 2016. Yeah, 2016. I left my car. I said, hey, look, you guys need any like transportation? You know, we ain't talking about no just Lincolns or Caddies, but like Bentleys, Maybach, Mercedes. Who you got? Give us a call. 2 years later, it was 2018. We get a call saying that Sagamore Pendry needs a vehicle. Okay, great. So glad you got thought about it. And he wanted to bend. So it was for a. Let me see if I can on the screen. But it was for a. It was for ABC World News. It was called Lifestyle of the Rich. So this gentleman, he's anchors for ABC World News, and what he does is he goes around to different cities looking to see who had the hottest hotels, who had the hottest fish. And when he came to Baltimore, he came to Sagamore. He wanted to come to Sagamore because Sagamore had the hottest of the hot. Just played a small little clip for you guys so y'all can see it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to play probably half of it.
All right, from the legendary Plaza, Essex House Lifestyles, the rich Candice has scoured the world. Oh, that is hotel in New York City. Anyway.
Yeah, so our files have been fairly limited. A 2-block portion of these. It's will allow. Well, until we branch out. For the first time, featuring a hotel inside of the greater New York area, the hotel shines with luster. Named one of Travel Magazine's new hotels in the world. So where is it? For Miami? Nope. San Francisco? Nope. Right here in New York. Let's head on over. How we roll. All right. Here we go. Of course, we're in a bed. Greetings, Mr. Gibson. You're saying more better experience? I expect to be in a yellow cab. We're in Baltimore's famed neighborhood. Brand new hotels. Now, let's be honest. Baltimore has a share of often captured on TV and in the city now. The Renaissance and last opening of the Penny Hotel, highlighting the hotel featured 128 rooms. And welcome home away. I can't wait. Wow. Awesome. All right, that's great. Thank you. Nice.
Sassy Stone, what's good?
Let's get it. Hang on. So, how do you great. Wow.
I'll hold it for a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much you know what they needed us for. Hey, what's up, Sassy Stone? BC on 34th. You know, they wanted that look. And I don't know about that current provider, but I mean they reached out to, you know, my company for a reason. They reached out to my company for a reason. And you know, we came, we showed up. What's up, my guy? We came in, we showed up. You know, they even gave me a little speaker role, which I thought was pretty cool. You know, they got me some nice shots in front of the car, you know, representing my brand, but also representing for Pendry. So, you know, I took that as an honor. You know, just at the time, I was 3 years in business. In business full time, but I was over, that was what, 2016. So about maybe 10 years of experience. So I was definitely built for it. But, you know, again, it was like, man, yo, ABC World News, we're here. We're here. You know, it's major for the brand.
It was big, and I think.
Go ahead.
I was saying it was big, and I think you know, not having that opportunity initially, you know, but standing on it, not wavering in your business, and that opportunity coming back around, makes sense. And that, once again, that feeds into that camera energy. You gotta trust and believe in yourself. I mean, for me, I can remember, and you may not even remember this. If you remember when we were doing shows, so to add context to folks in the comments, we used to do car shows together, and we had full-time jobs and careers and all of that. But our goal at the time was we were trying to be the best on the East Coast, and we were going to start with trying to shut down Maryland and then advancing into other places.
Yeah.
So, I'll be fair. There were two partners of ours that wanted to have an event, and it was going to happen at locally here at Drury Hill Park, which is probably maybe the biggest landmark in Baltimore City. There was a lot of money invested in it. And initially, as opposed to, because they had been partnering with us, instead of partnering with us, they went around us and partnered with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. You know, we made a decision. You know, we got a call from the partners on both sides saying, this is what we're going to look to do, but we appreciate y'all, so on and so forth. So we just happened to be together the morning of their event, just for something completely unrelated.
Right.
And the partner that, let's just say, had the most money invested said, yo, this event starting, ain't nobody here.
No cars.
So mind you, I'm on the phone and I'm wondering, why is he calling me to tell me that no one's there? Because we have no part in this venture, right? It was supposed to be Like, we the ones that are the subject matter experts, right? They went around us. Yo, man, you gotta save us, man. Call like Sass was good, bro.
What's up, Sass?
You know, no, you gotta
Oh,
get your
hold on. I heard a lot about you, Sass. Look, when you open for, we got the platform, bro, to tell your story. I heard you got a story, man.
oh yeah. We definitely gotta have my guy Sass on the share his gems. But you know, so we get a call from one of these partners that boxed us out of the deal, and they begging us like, yo, we need you to do something. We got a bunch invested in this, the city is behind this, and this cricket's down here. And we need y'all to do something to fix this right now.
ASAP.
So, you know, because we wanted to maintain a positive name in the marketplace, and we didn't see ourselves leaving that business at the time, you know what I'm saying? We went ahead and we fixed it for them. But it's a prime example of, once again, having that calm energy and standing on it, because they tried to finesse us. These are partners that we did multiple events with. This wasn't something that we cooked up, and both of these are $1 million organizations, and they used us to connect to each other, ironically. So it was like, yo, can you get us in a room? Can you finesse this conversation? So we doing it all in good faith because we know what we bring to the table, and they decided that we weren't valuable. So, but it's having that energy and standing on it. And then, if you remember, we went to the event later, and this, yo, oh my God, you saved our life, blah blah blah. And in that moment, it was just like, you know, it was a little bit of a stare, like, come on, you like, just take, you know, we're doing this because this is the right thing for us to do in business. But don't act like you ain't tried to play us.
Yeah, definitely. That wasn't the first time I took our idea and ran.
I mean, listen,
it was a car wash.
We could never get off this live if we talk about people that, you know, finesse things and implement it into us. You know, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So it was all love for that, and we allowed people to run with their narratives or whatever the case may be. But we built what we built as two guys from West Baltimore, like after work, working 9 to 5s.
Big facts.
You know, but to me, the way, if you remember it, the way we took it was proof of concept that we was doing something right in business.
Same. Look, it's crazy. I had the dialogue for this. It's the same exact thing. Guys, way more status wealth than us. See something that you West Baltimore are doing, like, oh, I like it. It's something there. Proof of concept.
Oh, and one of these businesses, like I said, for legalities, we're gonna leave their name out, but they might be the largest, most popular business in this town amongst the urban community.
Yeah, that's all of us. We're gonna stop on. But our goal at that time, my purpose as Carshow Rell was to be the next Funk Flex.
Yes,
I wanted to be the next Funk Flex.
The next Dub. Throw everybody in there.
I wanted to take over the whole Carshow lane, the DMV. Remember, we had people down in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, we were, before we decided to move on to something else, we were branching at NC. We were going down to Atlanta. We was gonna take it everywhere.
We was gonna take it everywhere. Our next step from the parking lot was to go at Dub, OC Carshow, and Motor Team.
Oh, we were trying to, like, we had some stadium, like the things that we had going on. It was, you know, God just directed us from a business perspective in a different way. But everything we were going after part of that cam energy. Our competition with people that were so far ahead of where we were, but that's who we saw as competition. It was no disrespect to the regular competition, but it was like, if I'm in this, I got to go at everybody. And if I lose going at everybody, then that's okay. But I think we realized that we were able to create a great product because we produced a product based off of competing with everybody and not just our direct competition. And I think that's the biggest lesson in business, is that you can't start a business based off of your local market and say, all right, how does this fit my market? You got to try to create a product that's scalable, that is you're going at people. Like if you developing lotion for women, you got to create a product that you feel like is competitive with Bath and Body Works right now.
Facts.
Because then even though you're not competitive to them, the consumers that you're selling to right now is going to be like, yo, I ain't going to hold you. Like this lotion I got from Main Man is just as, it's on the same playing field. It don't got the name behind it, but this about to be something.
Yep. And that's how you on Shark Tank.
Oh, that's a fact. And you listen, I can remember, yo, when we were younger a couple years ago, it was funny. I was telling I was making a joke over the weekend. My wife had me in Sephora. I didn't know what a Sephora was when we was younger. When we was younger, the place that I remember, at least women that I was dating or trying to date, they used to go to Mac. Like Mac was like their spot. And then one day I just woke up and it was like, oh no, we go to Sephora now. And I'm like, yo, where they came from? That's a prime example of somebody that they went at competition that was in a whole nother lane, and then they took that lane over. So that's, you know, that once again, that's all cam energy.
Man, so to I guess segue just before the camp, right? What do you think is in you? And I can ask my same question. That I guess it what is that desire or that when you that makes that camp energy exist? Like, do you think everybody has camp energy, or that can you develop energy if you don't have it in you? Is it a desire?
I think you can. I think it is something that's developed, that can be developed. Excuse me, and I think it's something that you can teach yourself. But it's really just it's an internal self-belief in you. Like going back to what we talked about in that interview, like, I mean, it was laughable and it was hilarious, but that part of the interview when he was like, yo, I used to put my whole fit on that I was going out for in the day and just practice my bop on the treadmill because I wanted to make sure that when I came through, I was bopping like I had money. Like it's having that energy. And to answer for myself specifically, I've never been in a room with another man. I've never been in a room with another man, business, personally, whatever, and they made me feel uncomfortable. And it's just it's me. I feel like if you put me in the heart of the trap, with those that are of that culture, I can be comfortable. If you put me in a room with very highly intelligent and savvy business people, I'm comfortable. So I can't waver. Money doesn't make me waver. Like, every day I get out of bed and I think I'm already a millionaire. I just ain't cashed the check yet.
Facts.
So it doesn't, like, none of that stuff moves me. I'm not uncomfortable. I will walk away. I do that in my current business. I walk away from business if it ain't the right business. Like, because for me, I run my business. Everybody handles business differently. Some people run their business like a business. Some people run their business like jobs that they can't be fired from. And that's not my style. So I'm not going to allow myself to be a slave to someone else, because I'm not uncomfortable with them, or as the culture says today, you can't big bro me. Like, that's just not who I am.
Man, I had to put it back on here just because of what you're saying. You know me, when I'm in the zone, I got the insect smile. I'm feeling good. I'm great. Obviously, when we got the chopped up with Kevin Plank, I'm feeling great. I'm on cloud 9. He embraced us. It was cool. But if you zoom in and just look at your face, it says exactly what you just meant. Like, yeah, cool. I rock with Kevin Plank. That's my guy. Yeah, he's a billionaire. But you like, yo, we equals. We're the same plan. You ain't even no teeth, no nothing. It's a billionaire that next to you guys.
Listen, he was a extremely pleasant individual. You know, it was a great conversation with him. He shared a lot of things and all of that. But to your point, that doesn't move me, because at one point 10, 15 years ago, Kevin Plank was me.
Facts.
So it don't move me. You know, you got, once again, it's that internal, you got to have it internally, because that's a part of the game. Like, and truth be told, if anyone has a question, look at some of the news of some of the things that have gone on with his business, and see if you've seen him walk into traffic or try to hang himself or whatever the case may be, because that's what business is. You're going to go through ebbs and flows. So you got to be confident, and you got to step in the rooms. And it's so funny, because his story to me was, you know, I shared with you, we talked one time offline, but I'll never forget having an opportunity to invest in Under Armour when they were going public when I was 19.
Yes.
And I had remembered, I had heard him on local radio, because at the time he was making Under Armour shirts like out his basement. And, you know, football players was like, yo, I don't know about the other apparel he got, but these shirts that he's got us wearing for moisture control under these jerseys is just as good as anybody. And the marketplace took a look at it and said, listen, I don't know what you're going to become in comparison to Nike, but yo, you got something. And the guy that saluted my bro Shake, that, you know, he had got us in front of a broker, and the guy that had a hunch about the business was like, yo, listen, this guy will go head up with Nike, Adidas, whoever else, and he doesn't care. And that's Cam energy. That's why I believe his business will be successful. And you see, I mean, it's blown. I mean, it went from being a sports T-shirt company to whiskey and vodka and hotels and all these other things. Listen, you just gotta believe in you. You gotta stand on it, and you gotta also be willing to acquire the knowledge. And I think that's, if you remember when we got in the business together, like, I loved cars. I knew nothing about the car business.
Yeah.
Like, you know, on another episode, we're going to share it. Like, you taught me the car business in a hood Wendy's in West Baltimore. Like, and it wasn't no like deep dive college course. It was like, yo, all right, this is the demographic of the business. This is who our clientele is going to be. This is what I think it can be with your input. And I need you to go out, and I need you on your own time to learn this. And if you learn this and you think it's what I think it is, we should do business together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you can't plan how, that's the other thing. With Cam Energy, every opportunity that comes to you isn't going to come to you in the way that you want it to come to you. You know, you talked about you started your business off of a failed deal with someone else. Like, you know, I think a lot of times we expect things to come with a bow on it, or the way we want it to come. Nah. I mean, sometimes you just got to put it together and thug it out.
Man, to add to that, man, and we talked about this as well, risk top, man. People got to understand their risk top, what they feel passionate about, have that emotional connection with, that they're willing to jump through, versus something that they hear that's making money that they think that they should, going crazy. So, yo, maybe all my money is, or yo, I heard similar to me. Yo, this dude's doing with car businesses, chauffeur, and everybody buying Benz, and 3 years later, nobody but me, because maybe they got the wrong reasons, or it wasn't what they thought it. Thought that they could build it up, you know, had more to it than what it was. They didn't have the like myself had R&D, customer service, and quality service clients. Man, it's a lot. You know, people that want to jump into blindly just to make money. That ain't the right. You know, you also gotta your risk tolerance.
Yeah, risk tolerance definitely matters because you got to know what you're willing to get into. But I think before you can understand what your risk tolerance is and the level of risk that you're looking to undertake, you got to be able to look into yourself and understand what you're doing. Because part of taking big risks is your internal belief of, I'm not going to allow this to fail.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, that means that you can't be available for every phone call. You can't be available for every text message. You know, you can do as much as you can, but you got to grind. You know, I won't allow my business to fail.
Facts.
Like, and on top of that, we're not married to anything. Like, man, listen, I might make $1 million in 5 years selling oranges. I don't know, but I think I've got some value in the space that I'm in, and I think I can provide an impact, and I'm gonna continue to spend money. That's the other side of business as well, is that you got to spend money and consistently in order to build it. And my mentality, regardless of the fact that I feel like and we're both, you know, probably solid middle class people at this moment. Like, regardless of being middle class, I run my business like I'm dirt poor. You know, we talked about it before, yo, like, you know, it's what I got to do to make money tomorrow, to be open tomorrow. You know, and like we going back to that cam energy thing, when we started our business, we had another partner. And that partner, like, we ended up having to have a sit down, like, you know, as they call in business, a come to Jesus moment. Excuse me, Lord. You know, where it was like, listen, are you really bought into this or not? And the person was like, yo, I mean, it's a lot. Y'all out here really hustling. Y'all going into businesses and pursuing business. And I don't really know, like, can I just put some money up and be on with y'all? Nah. That ain't what it's gonna be. Like, we're gonna build it. And having that cam energy, because we took money, that's a third of our profit that we would have had to give away. But that was also a third of our investment. That meant that we had to pick up his shares of the business to come out of our own pocket. And we still working. We still working every day. We still taking care of our families. All in all, like, that's having that camera on energy. You gotta be able to stand on it, and you gotta be able to move on it regardless of who's around in the moment. You gotta do what you gotta do when you can do it, man. So that's why I think, for me, the biggest thing that I want people to take away from, and of course we using it as our corny little cool term, which is cam energy, but it's really just an internal self-confidence and understanding that, for me, I've completely outdone what society said I should have done as a black man. So at this point, as the corny term says, I'm playing with house money right now. So I ain't afraid to bet it all on black. Because if I fall off and I fall to the bottom, I'm back where I began. So where's the risk? That's what helped me later in my working career, because I started to realize, why can't I tell these people exactly what they should be paying me if I already know I can afford to cover the bills I have now? Like, you know, if you remember, before we both started working, like, we were starting to treat jobs like NFL free agency. Like, yo, who paying? You know what I mean? Like who? Like, yo, who paying? Like, I ain't got no loyalty, man. 5 minutes from now, if you don't like me or you don't like my outfit or I speak a particular way, you'll have me out the door and have the next person in the chair. You know what I'm saying? So it's having that internal energy, you know, standing on your beliefs from a business perspective and being confident. You know what I mean? It's funny, I see the laughing from my man Sash in the comments. I used to meet with him after work and we would have conversations. And he would, like, come up with these things that was so out of the box he was going to do business-wise. Like, yeah, I decided I'm going to go and do X, Y, Z. I ain't going to share too much of the situation. And I'd be like, yo, when you came up with that, I ain't even going to hold you. I was driving over here and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm about to do. So I'm about to do it. Like, that's an internal self-confidence, because if you blow that money, you know, when we did shows, we had a lot of successful shows. Yo, I remember, if you remember the one show we had where the moon bounced blue in the middle of the street and they almost had an accident, like, and we flushed, and we had told your church that we were going to donate the proceeds and all of that, but we lost money. We ended that event in a rainstorm monsoon in the red.
I think we did it out pocket.
Oh yeah, we still met our obligation and gave money, but
Yeah,
that was like to be in the middle of an L like that. Like, we got equipment out there, the equipment's being rained on. Like, it's just money being flushed down the toilet, and we still had to pay employees.
yep.
Like, and I will say that while we're on here, if it's one thing I'll always take from that venture that we had, employees always got paid first.
Hey, man, regardless,
Always.
ain't nobody was on the CM staff ever said we did this wrong or we got over.
Oh, no.
Even if them making more money than us, like, pretty detailed, though, making more money than us.
Man, we had security that was scared to death to secure. They still got paid. Like, that's ridiculous. In hindsight, I'm mad about that now, because I felt like I was out there securing myself, and I was paying them. Like, if you remember, they came to me like, man, these guys don't want to listen. Can you come over there with me? And we paying them. But that's just like, yo, that's a part of the game.
We ain't deducted it.
Nah, we ain't deduct none of that. I mean, we did, and for the most part, I'm blessed because overall as a venture, we were successful. We were successful enough to be some 9-to-5 guys that had 12 employees per event.
Facts.
That were paid and compensated consistently, without any issues. And no, that doesn't sound big, but when you putting together a business in somebody's basement after you get off of work every day, when you taking money out your pocket, out of your household, and you're betting it. Like, we went into every event knowing, okay, well, there's a good chance we could lose money. So what? It's just, it's funny, man, having that calm energy, having that self-confidence. And I love that first story that you led off with, because a lot of people would have taken that opportunity when it was presented, but you believed in what you had before any of us knew what you had, because you told me, it was like, listen, just trust me. I feel like I got something. All right. And we sit here.
I think I was at the house when I did like the
No. That was when we formally had a conversation. I called you. I saw you plotting something on the internet and called you. I was in Walmart. Yeah. And I was like, you did such and such. And you was like, yeah, man, I woke up and was like, man, I'm going to start a business. It's going to cost me X amount of thousands of dollars to do so. So I decided I'm going to bet it all on black right now. And as a matter of fact, I got my first job tonight. And I was like, whoa. He was like, yo, listen, I'm going to go all in. If I fail and I got to get a job, I got to get a job. But I believe in it. Now we sit here 5-6 years later, business still thriving.
Yep. In the
like
middle.
my first year is horrible. I'm about to come up on 3 years. So listen, I can't complain. I got belief in me. We've all shared belief in self, and I think that's the reason why the only person I've ever partnered with at this point in business has been you. Because we move the same way.
Yep.
Whether it's, I remember we had the show where the people got injured, and we knew we was getting sued. Like, we knew when the lady cut her leg on the car, and the other woman, they was friends too, and they passed out at the same time in the same spot. Like, it was over. It's like, yo, they gonna max out our insurance policy. We ain't never gonna be able to get commercial insurance again.
Nope.
Ever. But you gotta ride through it. You gotta be able to stand on it. And I definitely think that having that internal confidence, man, is the difference between, there are other factors, but it's the difference between being successful and not being successful, because you won't allow yourself to lose.
1,000. That's what holds people from jumping off the porch. You know how many people I talk to when I'm out? Don't let me be out in no car. when I'm out in cars, people definitely stop. They want to talk. They want to give me their ideas and get my cosign on. The biggest thing that's stopping people, like you said, is do you really believe that you can pull it off? And a lot of people out here that kind of on the fence. You know what? Maybe I'll fail. I'll play it safe to keep a job and have this as a part-time hobby that I get off the ground.
That's a fact. I mean, but I also think, for me, what I started to realize is that with businesses, so when a company hires you, they're hiring you and paying you because they believe that you will generate income or revenue for them. So my thought process is, if they're going to invest in you, why not you invest in you?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not doing it because they like you. Ain't no company hiring you, especially if you're making good money. Ain't no company hiring you and paying you good money just for the sake of paying you good money.
Mm-hmm.
They paying you good money because they see the value in you. And don't get me wrong as well, if you notice, that's why companies ask questions about what your history is. So you might try to go for a job and they might be like, oh, you've been in the same job for 15 years? Oh, I like you. Because the chances are that you will never think about how much money I'm making off of you and want to leave.
Yep.
I want you. I don't want the guy that's going to be like, man, I can start you selling socks. I can go out here and sell socks too.
Yep.
Like, what I need you for?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I definitely think it's a point that matters. What's your to close out, bro? Any final thoughts you got on the topic?
Talking about business, to a lot of you find something you're passionate about. Do your research, obviously, number one, but highly consider, especially if it's profitable, to go in business and do it. Because that's probably going to be something that you can push through when the times get hard. There's a lot of avenues out here that money at, and just making money. I mean, it's going to. So when times are tough, like you are making money, since you're not passionate about it, you may just walk away from it. And that could be the difference between, you going here and you going up here versus something that you're passionate about. And you're going to fail your way to success. Ebbs and flows. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster. You just can't stop. You just got to keep going. Never quit, never quit.
I agree with that 100%, bro. And I'm going to end off with you. If anybody believes in you, it has to be you. So understand what your strong suits are. Understand what it is that you believe, and don't allow people to make you feel uncomfortable. This is bigger than entrepreneurship. If you walk into a room and you in there on your job and you in there with your boss and your boss's boss or whoever else, you got to stand. You got to be in there and you got to stand on what you believe is right and have a conversation and understand that whatever marketplace you work in, someone needs your skill set. So I ain't saying that people need to go out here and start talking reckless and all that, or believe in your abilities, because they believe in your abilities. There are too many people right now that are trying to get good jobs and careers and start businesses where an organization will bring you in for no reason. There's too many people that want that opportunity. So if they brought you in because they see value in you. So just stand on that. And, to end with my favorite quote from the OG football player, Fred Taylor, exposure is the first step to expansion. So expose your mind, think on something, analyze things, understand it. A 30-second example of that is, in my business in real estate, a lot of people love to watch HGTV and have absolutely no knowledge about houses. If you watch HGTV, you're not focusing on the aesthetics of the house and you're listening to what they're saying, a lot of these things that you don't know are right in front of your face. And the information is readily available for you and for free. Some people catch it, some people don't. So just stay focused. And as always, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. And taking the gems, and as we grow this thing, we're gonna start having guests on, and eventually we're gonna expand this into a studio show where me and my guy in the same room chopping it up.
For sure. Sure. EO Sad, Opulent M, Hookah Boys, DMV Backup, on the talent that y'all rocking with. Notice y'all is on there. Just listen to y'all. As I mentioned, we're gonna bring up guests on, people who you know, people who you may not know. Our whole thing really just exposed because of entrepreneurship, good and bad. We noticing with this social media, people think it's all uphill. Ain't nobody, behind doors. It's all peaches and cream. It's really not.
Man, we're gonna talk about it offline. But while my guy is on here too, man, follow Design House Fabrics, the premier fabric business in the U.S. Manufactured and based out of Atlanta, Black owned, built from scratch. And when this pandemic first started, they was able to hook me up with my N95 mask, all that great business. Once again, salute my guy Saz, owner of Design House Fabrics, man. Follow them on IG.
For sure. Appreciate y'all. You always say, stay positive, stay motivated.
Salute.